Hi, this is Heiko. I want to talk about the problem of subjectivity. Problem? Yeah. If you ask the sciences, the natural sciences, what is the world composed of? And you ask physics, and they tell you, well, the world is composed of matter and energy. And if you ask a chemist or a biologist, they wouldn't deny this. They are dealing with more complex forms of matter and energy, that is life and molecules, but basically the world consists of matter and energy. And maybe if you even say, well, the world consists of matter and energy and molecules and life, organisms, there's still the question, where comes subjectivity into play? I mean, we as humans experience, have subjective experiences, and we experience ourselves as subjects. But if you look at it from an objective standpoint at humans, you find no subject and no subjective experience. Sometimes this is explained with a question: where is the blueness of blue in the head, in the brain? There is no blue in the brain. There's just neurons firing. And of course, the physics teacher will tell you that there is no blueness in the world. There are just wavelengths of electromagnetic waves, and these are produced by the brain into the experience of blueness. Thomas Metzinger is a professor for philosophy at the University of Mainz in Germany, and he has proposed the Self-Model Theory of Subjectivity. The basic thought that he had was that humans produce with their brains representations of the world and of themselves. So they have a self-model and a world model, and these are embedded within each other and are in real time related to each other. So if the organism makes a move within the world, the world model gets adjusted, and the position of the self-model gets also adjusted, and the self-model changes also accordingly. So these embedded models help the organism to steer the organism more efficiently through the world. That has an evolutionary advantage. That's why the brain does all this work. I think that's state of the art. That's nothing revolutionary, but it gives us an idea how something like subjectivity can come about. Because you're not looking at what the single neurons do, because you're looking at a representational level of what the brain does. And if you think about it, you are always the center of your universe. Where you are is always now and is always here. And the world is around you in a circle. And that is a position, a perspective that serves you in moving through the world. And that can be created by generating a self-model with the input that the body gives, and generating a world model with the input that the senses give, and then embedding those two models into each other. And with the interaction of these models, it might well be that those subjective experiences are generated. It might well be that those experiences are the interactions of world model with self-model. So what does this mean for the question, who I am? Who am I? And in general, who is a person. What is a person? And I mean, Thomas Metzinger, and not only he, tells us that we are a data structure. We are a model. We are not a physical body. We are a model. And the world is not, as we experience it, is not a physical entity. It's a model. And it's in our heads. And you can see this if you think about what happens if you fall asleep and if you awake again. If you fall asleep, the world disappears and you yourself too. And if you re-awake again, then the world reappears again, and you as a subjective experiencing also reappear. So it's very clear that what we always think is our body and that what we always think is the world are only models. It's just a data structure. And I think that's very astounding to realize, because the models are so realistic and so fast and so accurate that we mistake them for reality itself. But if you think about it, what we as the center of our experience only have is neuronal input into the brain and within the brain. So we don't have direct access to the world. We don't have direct access to ourselves, to our body, because everything that we know of ourselves has to be transformed into neurons firing, so into data. And so it's very clear that all that we can experience is only data. Okay, that's the basic thought. I think it's very interesting. And what this means for the question of, is there a soul and is there a life after death, I will talk about in the next video. Thanks for watching.